Good afternoon and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Helen Smith, crafting artisan. I'm based in Norfolk and I love anything to do with crafting. I'm self-taught on a lot of my skills over the last 7-8 years and absolutely loving everything I'm learning and creating, and now I have a small business that I share that knowledge and passion with others to encourage them to create and craft. So the video for today, I'm taking part in the Stamp Around UK video blog hop. It's a group of independent Stampin' Up demonstrators who take part. Stampin' Up is a craft supply company which has been running for 35 years. We have catalogues, we have online shops, and the product and the quality. And for me, what hooked me was just the colour coordination. So if you don't have a brilliant eye of putting things together, it's all done for you within the different colour families, within the suites of stamps, dies, papers, ribbons, embellishments. It's all there for you. So if you'd like any more information on that, please let me know. I'm growing my YouTube channel, so please subscribe at the button below, and I hope you enjoy my video today. So the theme for this month was scraps. Now there are so many different stories and ideas about, do you keep scraps, do you throw scraps? Everybody is different. I have a friend who saves absolutely everything down to 2 or 3 or 4 millimeters of scrap. I don't. I'm quite ruthless, but that is my choice. How do you store your scraps? I store mine in a little drawer set next to me. So let me just move it up. So I keep all my white scraps. Then I've got my cardstock scraps. I try and just keep the current colours. Any retired colours I keep in a separate bundle, because obviously if I'm making things and I just want a spot of colour, then I will add that, as long as it's not for a class. And then I have my designer series paper. My bigger scraps I actually keep in the colour wallets that I have, where I keep my card over on my unit. So the card that I've designed today, I have cased it slightly, copy and share everything, from Jackie Lawrence, who also is in Norfolk, but I've amended mine, but she gave me the idea from one of her blog posts. And I'm using the Mediterranean, let's give you the correct name, Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper, which is our pretty papers. And when I get one of these, the writing is so tiny here. I write on the back the colours that are in this pack. So I can pick up my pack of paper and I can decide which colours I'm going to use. Today I've pulled out the Night of Navy, which also matches nice with my logo. I do like navy. So I had some of these scraps of that paper in my drawer. Something else I'd been making. So I've got some odd scraps already. So this is what I'm going to be creating with my scraps. And a matching envelope. Okay, so if I just rest that there. Can you still see that? I'm still getting used to my, let's just put it that way, look. And then I know you can see it. Still getting used to my camera setup. So here we go. It can be used any colours. The principle of the card can be used for any design or sentiment, but I'm using Night of Navy. So I've cut my card as a standard base card, 21 centimetres by 14.9 centimetres. I must admit I am a centimetres girl, even though I'm of the age group of inches. I never do quite get the hang of them unless they're round numbers. So it's when it comes to 6 7/8 and 4 2/3, that's me gone. So anyway, so this card is in centimetres for today. Then I'm using a layer because I'd like to emboss. I've embossed this with the cane weave, which is one of my favourites. embossing folder, so I'll show you how we do that. So card, white card, I don't have any scraps big enough, so I'm cutting into a new sheet. Let's pop that to the side. So my base layer is 9.5 centimetres. So it's a good idea to sort of create a batch of these in advance for in your little craft room, and then when you want to make a card you can just pick it up and make that quite quickly. So 13.9, so that's the measurements we use, and we just see that that's on there. I'll just carry on and cut all the card that I need, then I can put the trimmer away. Then I want a piece of card to stick the stamp, these strips to. You could use any colour. I'm just going to use a piece of white card because it's out, and that's going to be at 5.5, or we can go, yeah, 5.5 is good, and 12 centimetres. So that's the base for the strips. Then we want to have a night of navy that we want to then set the scraps onto. So the measurement for that is 6 centimetres. And that's by 12.5. There we go. So we're creating more scraps there that can be used for something else. And then inside the card for the layer, we'll do that while we're here. So 9.5, obviously with it being navy, you won't be able to see if you're writing on it. I'll just do this way first. 13.9. So when you're using your trimmer, you know, if you're quite new, I'm relatively new in the last sort of 16 months to paper crafting. You know, when you're cutting, try and get the most out of that sheet of card. So what did I say that was? 13.9, so 9.5. And you'll get used to, you'll pick up little tips as you go along how you can do that. But you see there, I've created two nice sizes for sentiment, so they'll be used on something else. So we put the trimmer away to the side, out of the way. So that's for the inside of the card, for the layer, which I suppose we could just stick in now. I thought I'd got the lid on, we're taking it off. I do like the Tombow glue because it gives you that little bit of manoeuvring when you're sticking down. Burnish the edge. So we've got the layer done already. Oops. We just leave that there to dry off. Okay, so the top layer, I'd like to use the die machine and emboss that, as I said, with the folder. So I'll bring the die embossing machine over. I've got a large one and the mini one in the blue, which is really handy. When you're using an embossing folder, we use plate 1 and 4. So here's the embossing folder. Again, really popular. I know I've sent a couple of cards to ladies and they've ordered this folder because it is such a sort of a pattern that fits in well with as a background. So we pop that on there, then we pop the plate on top. We just give it a little turn round. And you'll hear a clunk, that's okay. I say to my ladies at class, don't worry, you haven't broken it. It's meant to do that. So there's our lovely embossed layer. Put that to the side and take number 4 tray away. I'll just move this to the side. I think we'll do the sentiment next. So just a piece of scrap out of the sentiment. I thought I would use, haven't used this as much as I should do because there are some lovely sentiments or sayings. I'm going to put just love spending time with you. And I know who I'm going to send this card to. And I'm using the Spotlight on Nature dies, which are proving to be very popular. See those in lots of demonstrations. I also made a little You Inspire Me with some glitter. I put that up on my board, keep me motivated. Inspire myself some days, so that's good. Night of Navy ink. Dab, 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 dab. Don't need to do CPR, as I say to my ladies. Kiss the card, lift the stamp. That's a beautiful font. That really is a lovely font. Nice and sharp and crisp. Just give that Simply Chamois. Night of Navy. Oh, that's not the right size, is it? Oh, it didn't look right. Dozy Rosie. Right, that's better size. Bring the machine back. I would ordinarily use the mini for this, but as I've got the large one out, so plate 1 is the base, and then we put plate 2 in, which is not a cutting board. You then put plate 3. I write little notes on mine so that my ladies, mind you, sometimes I've even put the die in upside down or the card the wrong side, so it's all learning. And then we pop that on there. Some people stick that down with tape, but for that one I think I'll be okay. And then I pinch the plates here till I get the handle going. And then once you've got the tension in the machine, I then hold the handle. Again, we make that huge clunk like we've just hit a wall. My little thing keeps coming off, need a bit of stick. Take the plates through, remove the sentiment. Let's pop that back in my little magnetic dish, which I do make those if anybody would like one of my little magnetic dishes. They're £15 posted. They're great. I use it being as, you know, I like to sew as well, so for my pins, and I thought, ah, brilliant. Right, digress. Little pokey tool. Oh, one there, one there, one there. They're lovely, these dies. They really are. A little bit of scrap. Go back in the white scrap. Ah, put that back in the wrong drawer. Oh, must change that. That'll send me OCD funny, that will. Right. You get used to knowing which drawers and that to pull, don't you? It's just a little unit I got from Hobbycraft with 8 drawers in. I put my bits and bobs in. It's really handy having everything to hand. Now I've got a nice desk in my craft room. Okay, so we've got the sentiment. So the machine is now away. So now we're going to work on the actual scraps. So we use this white piece as our base. I cut out, that's something I cut out before. I'm going to trim that down and use that. So I think with scraps, you've just got to decide, you know, you can't overthink it as to where you put things. I've put some tear and sticky tear tape on earlier when I was doing my practice one, but you can use glue. I probably use glue for this bit. I think it's quite nice to get a mix and see what bits of scraps you've got left. You don't want too much the same, you want to sort of, that's quite nice having the orange, so you could just trim. You could just trim that to where you, obviously if you're starting there, and it's just a matter of do you want more of the orange or more of the white, or maybe we should put that one there next because we haven't got that little leaf. Is there another navy? So it just takes a minute or two. So you might want to just snip that in half because it's a smaller piece there. Then use that other smaller piece. Just takes a minute or two. We can put that orange bit on the end there, so that saves that. Have we got any more strips? There's a spare piece here, so we can just take, just to get 1.5 centimetres. That's a nice navy, isn't it? That can go. Okay, so I think we're pretty much there where we want to so just going to slide, I just turn those over and then mix them about. You just sort of set, off you go. Put that. You can decide at what type of angle. There we go. This one has got tape on from earlier, so that's fine. And then build as we go, ladies and gents. Oops. So this is my second time taking part in the blog hop. Ah, Helen. Shilly Billy. Oh, Shilly Billy. You see, we're all learning, aren't we? I'll move that up a bit because I've used the tearing tape, so that's stuck. I'll come back to that end bit, I think. They're all covered, so we're okay. No crisis. There's never a crisis in crafting. So yes, I really enjoyed the last one, and obviously I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel. And then I would like to start doing some how-to videos, which I'm looking forward to doing. I think I've gone a bit wrong here. I don't think I should have cut that quite so short. Nope. Right. So it's a good job that we do have scraps, because I need to just cut another strip. 1.5. What's the trimmer? Okay, so I am adding the rest of the strips. one will fit on there now. Just a dribble of glue. Put that little orange one on the end. Oops, that's probably too much. And that little navy bit on the bottom end. Okay, use your snips or your big paper scissors, whichever's easiest for you, and just cut your scraps off the ends. You need to give your scissors a clean after this. Your snips, these are great, these little snips, very sharp. There we go. I think that's okay. Just make sure that it's not obviously so it's, there we go, it's better, nice and sharp down the edges. Looks wonky, but I think it's the way the strips are sitting. Okay, so move those scraps out of the way, keep the oranges, put that in my bin there, stuck to me. Joey. Glue on. Right, so here's our layer. So we're going to add it onto the base so it gives it a nice border. So I think looks good. Nice idea. And then we're going to add this to the card. Just gives it a nice effect, doesn't it, having that. Pop that on there, go whichever way you want. And then this was cut out for another project, so I cut out too many or didn't use them all. And there's our sentiment. I mean, it's quite nice just like that as well, with just the sentiment. Here's the one with the orange that I'd made earlier. Just stick that on there. And there's the one with just the sentiment. But what we could do is, oh dear, Helen, my stage is all falling apart. We could just take off that top orange with the flower. I think gives it a nice, do a bit of fussy cutting. Another topic of, do you like to fussy cut or not? So I think maybe we'll attach that to that maybe. We'll put that there. I'm not sure because we've got a lot of orange on that bottom piece, whether go a little bit higher. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. And I think I'm actually going to glue this to the orange on this one. This one I used dimensionals, had to double up on the dimensionals. So I'm going to glue that to the orange and then just give that a second to set and then stick it with dimensionals. I don't think you can go wrong with getting a bit of height on your feature piece. Personally, just take those off there. We haven't glued it down yet, so, or do we prefer it that way? And lower. No, I'm going to go higher on this one. Higher, lower. Yeah. Okay. So just leave that on my tweezers for the moment while we... I think it's always good to get all your components made and then assemble when you know you've had a bit of an eyeball at it. I think we said that is quite nice, I think. I don't have a lot of embellishments at the moment, but these are current. So these are called Pecan Pie and Clear Ribbon Adhesive Packed Dots. Ooh, that one's gone there. Just come off my tweezer. Oh yeah, they're quite nice. They sit low. Quite got nice, quite. Yeah, I think we've got it done enough on there. And then I do love a decorated envelope. Pop a bit of glue. Do we go with it? We'll go with the navy, so we'll put the orange face down because the other envelope's got the orange. So a lot of oranges and lemons about, weren't there, in the summer? Again, just give this a trim around there. Creating a bit more scrap or something. Watch the other blogs and we'll find out what to do with how to use scrap in other ways. And there's your envelope. Just love spending time with you, using the scraps to make a design. And that's the one I made earlier, as they say. So these are my 2 cards presented to you, how to use your scraps. Thanks for watching.